Keanan is here tonight to save you thousands of dollars by condensing his years of music composition study down to just 5 minutes. Give it up for Keanan.
All right. Anyway, this is Wonderwall. No, I'm just kidding. This talk is from my upstairs neighbor Nate, who I don't think is here, but he's learning how to play the guitar. And from what I can hear through the floor, he's really struggling. He's trying to learn everything all at once. And so if I only had 5 minutes to teach him how I thought he should learn a guitar to impress the girl I think he's trying to impress, this is how I would do it. So luckily for us people who are trying to learn music, a lot of the pop music that's on the radio and things that we actually want to play, they're all made up of notes, right? And we can put these notes together to what's called chords. Chords are what you hear when someone strums the guitar, or when you start up your Mac and it makes that really pleasing sound, that's a chord too. And because there's so many notes, like there's really a ton of chords. And so if you took a sheet like this or 5 of these and tried to learn each of these all at once, it would be a lot of memorization and it'd be really hard. But pop music and music that people want to play for others and music that people want to hear generally can really very often be condensed down into just 4 chords. So if you can learn those 4 and practice for less than the length of the first Lord of the Rings movie, you can use that system to kind of easily pick up a lot of different songs. So the 4 that we are going to learn, well, not together, but you're going to watch me, are G, D, E minor, and C. So if you hear those, you can kind of maybe already link that to some songs that you know or have heard before. And if we can think of a song altogether as kind of like a house, what we need to start putting it together is kind of the floor plan or the blueprint. So how do these chords, how are they structured, how are they ordered, and how do they fit with the lyrics and the words that we hear so we can put them together? Luckily for us, millions of musicians around the world have spent countless hours putting all these things online. So if we want to play, say, Let It Be, we Google Let It Be chords, and we get something that looks a little bit like this. Now, if you've heard this song before, you can kind of sing the melody in your head and notice where the chords, where they appear above the lyrics is where they're actually changing. So you can already kind of start to see how this would be put together. And if you'll notice, most of the chords that are up there are chords that we just talked about before. So they're all ones that we recognize, with some variations, but those ones that look a little more complicated you can just throw out. So if you know that you have those 4 chords in your fingers, you can look at a different song like this. Any Jason Mraz fans out there? And this looks a little bit different, but trust me, it's the same, and we'll get there in a second. So you see that the chords that you look here, there's only one that you recognize, right? And it's the G chord that we talked about a little bit earlier, but everything else is different. But I'm telling you it's the same, so how do we get there? So for those who are not necessarily musically inclined, songs are in what's called a key. And a key basically just tells us what is kind of the base of the song, what note is everything centered around. Usually this is wherever it starts. So Let It Be is in the key of G, and all the chords we just talked about are in the key of G. And Jason Mraz, I'm Yours, is not. It starts on a C chord, and it's in the key of C. So how do we reconcile that? I promised you we'd only learn 4 chords, so we have to get this somehow into the chords that we know. So what's great is you can move chords up and down, you can move notes up and down, and as long as the relationships between them are the same, the songs will sound recognizable to you. This is called transposing. And you can learn how to do it by hand or go to college to learn how to do it by hand like I did, or you can use this awesome digital tool where you can just click plus and minus 1, right? So if we have a song in, I'm Yours is in C, and we know that all the chords we know are in G, we just need to look at this layout of notes and figure out that there are 5 steps or half steps between C and G. So we would go online, we would find the chords, and we would click -1 5 times, and we would see the chords changing, and then as soon as we get to our -5, the song is what's known as transposed into the key of G. And then it looks like this, with all chords that you now recognize. And so you don't have to take my word for it that there are many, many songs that work this way. If you've ever seen these videos of these guys online where they just stand and play their guitar and sing a bunch of different songs, that's exactly what this is. Here's a short abridged list. I could fill 20 more slides with this many songs that are like this, so something for everybody up here. But that's the basic idea, is the structure of music and music that is popular is largely the same. It boils down to mostly these 4 chords. Sometimes they only use 3 of them. Sometimes they'll throw in a 5th one just to be fun, but you can learn that one if you need it. And so that's it. That's how you can kind of get started really easily. And Nate, if you're out there, I hope you take this advice. Thank you very much.